Hi, this is Linda Ferguson. I'm doing a series on emotional intelligence to talk about the 5 different components that are a part of emotional intelligence so that you can live with greater balance, find greater inner peace, and move through your stresses and challenges more easily. In the first video, I talked about self-awareness, the first component of emotional intelligence. In that video, I talked about how do we identify what our emotions are and how do we distinguish between our judgments versus our emotions. In the second video, I talked about self-regulation. How is it that we can regulate, modify, maybe de-escalate certain emotions when we're feeling like we're flooded with anxiety or panic? And how do we consciously choose between the thoughts that we might have that are causing that emotions, the story that we're saying, versus paying attention to the emotions that are going on with us? And I shared some ideas about how we can do some breathing exercises and a body scan to allow us to bring our emotions back into a greater place of balance. In this video, I want to talk about the third component about emotional intelligence, which is self-motivation. Now, self-motivation really is a key piece of emotional intelligence because all of us in our lives have setbacks. We all have disappointments. We all have times when we're just tired and we want to give up. We even have times when we're just feeling really discouraged. We probably have some projects that we want to work on, but we just haven't quite gotten the energy or the gusto or the desire to start it. So in this video, I want to talk about emotional intelligence as it relates to self-motivation to either get something started or to move forward after a setback. When we think about getting things started, or as Garrison Keillor says, and I totally love this quote, having the strength to get up and do what needs to be done. When we think about getting something started, we usually start a project because we assume, well, if I start it, I'm going to be able to achieve what I want to achieve. In fact, in business management, there's a theory of work motivation called expectancy theory. And that theory says we won't be motivated if we think the expectation of us accomplishing something is 0. I mean, think about it. If you're trying to do something or somebody gives you a goal and you're just like, there's absolutely no way that's going to happen, you're not likely to start working on that project or try to reach that goal. In fact, they did there's tons of research on this one, but the one that I particularly like was they took a class of students and they gave them a bunch of paper and they rolled them up into little paper balls and they put trash cans at different distances away from the students. At 5 feet away, they asked students, okay, how many of you want to come up and shoot this paper into that basket and you'll get some reward? And so most of the students got up and did it because 5 feet they figured, yeah, I can probably do that. When the distance was 10 feet away, less students did it. And when the trash can was 20 feet away, only 1 or 2 students actually got up and tried to shoot the paper into the basket. Because very few people believe that 20 feet away, they would be able to accomplish the goal. So if your expectation is 0, you're not going to be motivated. Now, what helps you change your expectation, or how do you even pay attention to your expectation? I love the Henry Ford quote. You're probably familiar with it. His quote is, if you think you can or you think you can't, either way you will. Right? So if you think that you can accomplish something, you're far more likely to accomplish it because you're going to be putting your time and your energy into making that happen. That's related to the self-fulfilling prophecy. The self-fulfilling prophecy says our expectations often come true. Now, if we think we can't, there's a really good likelihood that you won't be successful. So whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way you will. If you want to think you can and start a project, pay attention then to that positive self-talk that you give. What are the things that you're saying to yourself that says, I can do this? Now you also want to pay attention to those self-limiting beliefs or those times and those doubts that you have that come into your mind. They might be telling you, there's no way you can do this. They'll never let you do this. You don't have time for this. You don't have the skills. You don't have the talents. We all have that voice in the head that tells us either we can or we can't. Now here's the beauty about both emotional intelligence and self-motivation. Once we're aware of those voices in the head, either saying that we can or we can't do it, we can consciously choose which voice we want to listen to. And that's going to help guide us with our self-motivation. So here's the 2 choices that you have. We can listen to the cheerleader and the coach who says, go for it, yeah, you can do this. And that positive self-talk, that yes I can, that's going to give you the motivation to move forward, to get the help that you need, to get the training that you need, to get the resources that you need. That positive self-talk is going to help you move forward. Now, the other voice you can listen to is the critic or the yappy dog. Why do you think you can do this? Why do you think you're going to be successful? There's no way you can get this done. Right? That's the self-critic. That's another voice that's in your head that you can choose to listen to. So whether you think you can or think you can't, it's going to determine which voice is going to be the loudest for you and which one that you want to feed your energy into. If you're experiencing a setback or you're tired or you're discouraged, pay attention to which voice you're listening to. Are you paying attention to the cheerleader and the coach? And maybe it's something that you can't even do for yourself, but maybe you get someone to do that for you or with you, to be that cheerleader or coach for you. Or do you pay attention to that critic that says, oh, you'll never be able to do this, you might as well just give up now. You have that choice. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way you will. The power lies within you. What choice are you going to make? How motivated and committed are you to reaching your goals? Choose whichever path serves you the best. Bright blessings on your journey. Blessed be.